So my dear friends, we have discussed what is active business outside India test and the four parameters of that. Okay, first is passive income should be less than 50% of total income. Then total number of employees should be less than 50% of total number of employees in India should be less than total employees of organization. Their payroll expenses should be less than 50% in India, and whatever assets you are having in India should be less than total book value of assets of the organization. We are going to check those conditions in the coming illustrations. These illustrations are given by CBDT to put clarification on the provisions that they have framed. Examples as per CBDT circular. Example 1, company A company is sourcing entity. A company is a sourcing entity, you can consider, for an Indian multinational group incorporated in a country X, and it's 100% subsidiary of company B, Indian company. Please understand. So there is a company A which is a sourcing entity. That means they bring the business for an Indian multinational group incorporated in country X. So that group did not incorporate in India. You should understand why they are doing so, because if this is India and if they incorporate a global entity in India, their global income will become taxable in India. So Indian group is very smart. They will incorporate a multi group or a main holding company in the foreign country, and this foreign country will do business with other foreign countries. So at least this income will not become taxable in India. That might be their intention. The warehouse and stock of them are only assets of the company are located in country X. So in country X, they don't have any asset. It is just a paper-based entity. Only warehouse is there, only stock is there. All the management and everything will be done from India because it is an Indian group. You can understand this. All the employees of the company are also in country X. So in country X, they are having all the employees. The average income wise breakup of the company's total income of 3 years is, look at this, 30% of income from a transaction where purchases are made from parties which are non-associate enterprise and sold to associate enterprise. It is active business. Please understand. Purchase from unrelated party, sell to related party is a normal business, no problem. Okay. 30% of income is from a transaction where purchases are made from associate enterprises and sold to associate enterprises. Please understand. This is purchased from associate enterprise and sold to associate enterprises. This is passive income. This is not active income. When purchase and sale, both the transactions are done from a related party, we call it passive income. 30% of income from a transaction where purchases are made from associate enterprises and sold to non-associate enterprises. This is active business. It's not a passive income. 10% income by way of interest. So this is also passive income. So till now, how much income you are having as a passive income? This 10% and this 30%, meaning thereby company has complied with the first condition of having passive income less than 50%, not more than 50%. In this case, passive income is 40% of the total income of the company. The passive income consists of 30% of income from a transaction where purchase and sale is from associate enterprises, 10% of interest income. A company satisfies the first requirement of the test of active business outside India, and since no asset or employees of the company are in India, other requirement of the test are also satisfied. You understand? So all the four conditions are satisfied. Why? Condition number 1, it should have passive income less than equal to 50%. You can say in our easy language, the legal language is it should not have passive income more than 50%. Yes, it does not have more than 50%. Second, the total assets in India should be less than 50% of the book value of the assets. Okay, that they said all the assets are located in X country, not in India. Then the third condition, total employees, less than 50% of employees should be there in India, not more than 50%, less than 50% of your total employees. And because here all the employees were located in country X, they don't have even a single employee in India, so this condition is complied. And obviously the fourth condition, you don't have to check a payroll distribution, because payroll is given directly to the employee who are located in country X, not in India. Therefore, company is having active business outside India. But sir, will you conclude that company is having POEM outside India? No. Now we have to check we have to check, please understand, whether board of directors have taken all the meetings outside India or not. Majority meetings. Therefore, companies engage in an active business test outside India. Second example. The other fact remains same as that in example 1. So all the things will remain same, with a variation that a company is having total 50 employees. So total 50 employees are there. 47 employees are managing the warehouse which is located in country X, storekeeping and accounts of the company which are located in X. So 47 employees are there, only 3 employees are there in India. The managing director, chief officers, chief executive officers and sales head, 3 people, MD, CEO and sales head are resident in India. These people are resident in India. The total annual payroll expenditure of these 50 employees is 5 crore. My dear friend, very important. The total annual payroll expenditure of this 50 employees 5 crore. Out of 50, only 3 employees are there in India. But next line is very, very important. Out of total 5 crore, 3 crore is incurred on MD, CEO and sales head. Meaning thereby they are satisfying the employee test, but they are failing in payroll test. Okay, look at this. Although the first limb of the active business test is satisfied, that is only 40% of total income is passive nature. Therefore, not more than 50% of the employees are also situated outside India. So these conditions are satisfied. The next important para, all the assets are situated outside India. That is also satisfied. However, the payroll expenditure in respect of MD, CEO and sales head being employees resident in India exceeds 50% of total payroll expenditure, and therefore a company is not engaged in active business outside India, meaning thereby they are failing the ABOI test and therefore their POEM will form in India. Okay. Next one, the basic facts are same in example 1. So that whole 30%, 10% combination is same. Further facts are all the directors of A are Indian resident. All the directors are Indian resident. During the relevant year, 5 meetings of the board of directors is held, of which 2 were held in India and 3 outside India. So majority have held outside India, 2 in country X and 1 in country Y. Where you have held, that is not important. In India, it is less than 50%. Majority meetings were not held in India. A company is engaged in an active business outside India as per the fact indicated in example 1. Established majority of board meetings have been held outside India. Therefore, the POEM of the company shall be presumed to be outside India. Okay. Next one. The facts are the same in example 3, but it is established that AO that although the company A's senior management team signs all the contract, though your directors are outside India, but the senior management signs the contract for all the contracts above 10 lakh. A company must submit its recommendation to B company, and B company make the decision whether or not contract may be accepted. Do you remember B company was only own the holding company of this particular group. So B is the holding company, A is the subsidiary company. They are saying more than 10 lakh rupees. Whenever the contract value is more than 10 lakh rupees, our holding company should approve it, and holding company was Indian group. Holding company was in India. Okay. It is also seen that during the previous year, more than 99% contracts are of 10 lakh and above value, meaning thereby in India you are having a holding company. That holding company signs the contract only when the contract value is more than 10 lakh rupees. 99% your contracts are having more than 10 lakh rupees value. Technically you wanted to say this company is actually located in India. Over the past year and also same trend in respect of the value contribution of the contract about 10 lakh is seen. This fact suggests that the effective management of the company A may have been usurped. That means, it is taken over by the company B. It is clearly taken over. Forcefully it is taken over. Therefore, the POEM of the A company may be in such case be not presumed to be outside India, and the majority of the board meetings are held outside India. Okay. So it won't be held outside India. That means it will fall in India. An Indian multinational group has a holding company, A company. Indian multinational group has a holding company A in a country X. So holding company is located in X country. The A company, the name of the company is A company, it also has 100% downstream subsidiaries of B company and C company. So this holding company is having downstream in B limited and then C limited, okay, in country X and D in country Y, okay. So they are having some subsidiaries companies in foreign countries. The A company has income only by way of dividend and interest from the investment made in subsidiaries. So they are having 100% passive income. They don't have active income. The place of effective management of A is in India. The company A's POEM is in India. Okay, though it is incorporated outside India, the POEM is in India and is exercised by ultimate parent company of the group. The subsidiaries of B, C, D are engaged in active business outside India. Other subsidiaries are doing very well business outside India. The meeting of the board of directors of B, C and D are held in country X and Y respectively. So their BOD is outside India, their active business is outside India, only their parent company in India. Will it convert their residential status? And answer is no. We have to check residential status for each company separately, and by looking at this particular paragraph, their active business is outside India, ABOI is outside India, and their majority meetings are also outside India, meaning thereby subsidiary companies are having business management, effective place of business management outside India. Merely because POEM of the intermediate holding company is in India, the POEM of the subsidiary company shall not be taken in India. Please understand, each subsidiary has to be examined separately. As indicated in the facts, since B, C and D shall presume to be outside India because they are having active business outside India and majority of board of directors meeting have happened outside India. Both the conditions were complied. So this is how we have to learn. We will do one holistic practical question toward the end of this lecture, where you will apply all these parameters and you will compute, you will determine on your own the residential status of the foreign company. Thank you.